people, back again to Fitness the Chef YouTube channel. Today we got a cooking class. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys today how to make curry mutton. Yeah, and some Basmati rice. Okay, we're gonna do that with some broccoli as well, some grilled broccoli. So stay tuned. So now I'm just washing the meat with some lukewarm water and some lemon once again, just to kill the acid from the lemon. Will obviously kill any excess bacteria from the meat. Okay, so we're gonna get seasoning after we do this. So I've took out the lemon, what we washed the meat with. Okay, so now I'm going to season the meat. First I'm gonna start with some black pepper. Okay, I'd say put around, well, I've used about 800 grams worth of meat. So around 800 grams of meat I've used. So if you're using around that same kind of portion, I'd say use around 3 tablespoons of black pepper. Okay, and the next thing we're gonna do is add some garlic, grounded garlic. Okay, so we just add some grounded garlic to it, say about 2 tablespoons, 2.5 tablespoons of grounded garlic. Okay, and then next, now what we're gonna do is put some thyme, add some thyme. We'll put around 2 tablespoons of thyme, and obviously I don't really use any measurements to weigh my ingredients that I put into my meat. It's just, I've been cooking for that long, I just do it by eye. But obviously I still kind of know the around about measurements to put in on tablespoons. Next, now what we're gonna do is we're going to use some pimento. So we've got some ground pimento. It's a nice herb, nice aromatic herb. I think it is a herb, or it's a root or something like that. But this one's grounded. Put about 2 tablespoons, 1.5, 2 tablespoons of pimento. Okay. And then we're gonna put 1 tablespoon of ginger. I'm using grounded ginger, which is probably best because firstly we're gonna be browning the meat first, so we can add the fresh ingredients in afterwards. Okay, so the grounded ginger is about 1 tablespoon. Here we are. Alright, okay. Now, if you've got some mixed herbs, you can throw a little bit of mixed herbs in. I'd say about 1/2 tablespoon of mixed herbs. And also, what we're gonna do is add a bit of heat to this now. So we need some chili powder. And what I do is I add some chili flakes to it. I think that gives it a nice little kick as well. So I add a bit of chili flakes and chili powder. Okay, I'll pause. Okay, and the next ingredient that we're gonna use to marinate the mutton with is turmeric. Okay, So we've got some grounded turmeric here, okay, and obviously if you didn't know, curry is actually made with turmeric, okay, that is actually the main ingredient for curry, and we're going to use 2 tablespoons of turmeric, okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add curry powder, okay. So we've added turmeric, 2 tablespoons, and then 2 tablespoons of curry powder as well. Okay. This curry powder is mild, it's not hot, you can get hot curry powder. Okay. So I'd say 2 tablespoons of curry powder as well. The reason it's not hot curry powder is because you're going to be using obviously Scotch bonnet. And obviously we've used black pepper. And we will be using hot chili powder as well, which I'm going to be using now. So 1 tablespoon, 1.5 tablespoon of hot chili powder. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then what we're going to do now is mix it all together. So this is the pot that I'm going to be cooking it in. So I'm going to mix it in the same pot that I'm cooking the meat in. Okay, so I've mixed up the meat now. Yeah, the curry mutton. Yeah, and I'm going to pull it in the strainer because we're going to use the pot. Yeah, I'm going to use this pot here to cook it in. By the way, people, what I've done is I've added pink Himalayan sea salt. I added half a tablespoon of pink Himalayan sea salt, and the reason I've added half a tablespoon of pink Himalayan sea salt is because this curry powder here has salt in it as well. So this is what you have to look out for. But the turmeric does not have any salt in. Yeah, so you have to be very careful with how much of that curry powder you're using. With the turmeric, it doesn't really matter because obviously, as I said, there's no salt in the turmeric. Really, you're supposed to use a tablespoon of oil, and obviously not just any oil, organic cold pressed coconut oil. Okay. What I'm gonna do actually is I'll do it just 2 notches over midpoint. So my one goes up to 9. The hottest on mine goes up to 9. So obviously I've just put mine literally at 7. So it's just above halfway on temperature. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna just slowly put the curry mutton in now, just to brown up. Yeah. Smells amazing already. Okay. When you're browning it, yeah, you're browning it. You can slap some Maggi cubes in there. Put some Maggi cubes in. 2, to be precise. 2 Maggi cubes. All right. And then after we put 2 Maggi cubes in, yeah, let's give it a little one stir. Okay. A 1 stir, yeah. All right, and then we put a half a cup full of boiling hot water in, yeah. You see, after we put half a cup of boiling hot water in, you know what we do then? Then we turn the temperature right down. Yeah, I turned it up 1 notch. Then we turn it right down to just under halfway. So it goes just under halfway, yeah? You turn it right down. And then you know what you have to do? Put the lid on. And let it simmer down for an hour. 1 hour. Before we put the rest of the ingredients in. Okay. Okay, so basically what we're going to be using, the ingredients, is 4 big long scallions, in other words spring onions. Okay, this is how we're going to cut the spring onions, yeah, fine. And the same way with the peppers, we're not going to cut them big and chunky, we're going to cut them nice and fine. And the same thing with this, we've got the 2 onions. We're going to also dice the onions up nice and fine as well, like we have with the spring onions. Okay, say like a handful of thyme. Okay, that should be sufficient enough. Okay, so a handful of thyme as well. Bearing in mind, before you chop and process the ingredients, they all need to be washed. So make sure you wash your ingredients as well. Mine have been washed. Obviously not the time which I'm going to be washing now. But apart from that, everything else has been washed. Okay, so stay tuned and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like when it's chopped up. So basically this is what your chopping board's meant to look like. You know, your onion, sorry. When you chop your onion, try and do it in discs if you can. If not, it's okay to just dice it up, as I said the first time. But if you can't dice it up, then obviously you can do it in discs like this. That's perfectly fine. I just like mine in discs, to be fair. Obviously I just like it in the food. I do it in my beans as well. I'll do that in another video. I'll show you how to do some Caribbean style beans. But I have sometimes for breakfast. As you can see, I've just crushed the garlic here. Yeah, I've chopped up the thyme. I've literally I've chopped up the ginger fine, very very fine in comparison to the rest of the vegetables, and also the Scotch bonnet I've chopped up just as fine as the ginger. This ginger and the Scotch bonnet I've chopped up the finest, and the garlic I've crushed. The rest I've just kind of diced up, kind of thing. And the other half of the Scotch bonnet I've left here, as we're going to place that at the top of the curry mutton. Okay, so we'll put this in obviously an hour after it's been on the cooker. Okay, so bam, we'll just see. Stay tuned and we'll see what happens next. So what I'm doing with the rice now, literally, is I'm gonna wash the rice in it. So I put some lukewarm water in. It's a bit hot, yeah. Lukewarm water, yeah. Give the rice a little swivel with my hands, yeah. With my hand, swivel it, swivel it, swivel it, swivel it, yeah. And then drain off the excess water. Being careful not to take out any rice with it as well. Okay. What this does basically is cleans the rice. So I'm cleaning any excess gunk off the rice. So I'm not cooking with anything that I don't want to be cooking with. That's not meant to be in the pot. It cleans the rice. Okay. Okay, so same thing again. I do this about, say, 3-4 times. Yeah, depending on how much rice you're cooking, and obviously depending on where you get your rice from. Okay. Rice on the pot. Alright. I've just put filled it with water just above the level with the rice. So where the rice is level, I've literally put it an inch above where the rice is level. So what I'm gonna do now is literally I've just washed some thyme. So I'm gonna put some thyme in the rice, okay? So some thyme, put some thyme in there. Yeah. I'm gonna squirt some lemon juice in there as well, from a fresh lemon. Yeah. So some lemon juice, being careful not to squeeze any seeds in there. Okay. Some lemon juice, that's for some extra flavour. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna, depending on how much rice you got, obviously depending on how much salt you put in, but I use Himalayan pink sea salt as I said earlier. I'm gonna use say around half a tablespoon. Most likely a tablespoon because I've got quite a bit of rice here. So depending on how much rice you've got is depending on how much salt you put in. You don't want your rice to taste too fresh. When I say fresh, I mean as in like as if it's got no salt in. Obviously rice without salt, we use the term fresh. Okay, so I'd say I put just under a tablespoon if you're gonna cook quite a bit of rice like I have. This is about 2-3 cups worth of rice, about 3 cups. Okay, so after I do that here, what I'm gonna do after that now, so I'm gonna put a dollop of butter in. I'd say with the portion I'm doing, I'm gonna put half a tablespoon of butter in. This will keep the rice nice and moist. Okay. And then also I'm gonna put some black pepper in. A tablespoon of black pepper, grounded black pepper, and also half a tablespoon of crushed of garlic powder. Or if you want to use fresh garlic, you can use 2 cloves of fresh garlic, 2 small cloves of fresh garlic, or half a tablespoon of grounded garlic granules. Okay, which I'm gonna do now. So just put the ingredients in now. Yeah, this is what it's looking like so far. Obviously we need to cook it down for another hour. Okay, so it still needs to be cooked down now with the ingredients in for another hour now. Could leave it on for an hour and a half if you like, depending on how soft you want it. But an hour will be good enough, another hour will be good enough. So I'll just put the lid back on, just leave it to simmer down on a medium temperature. I'll turn it down a bit, low temperature, just under medium temperature for an hour. Also the rice, obviously, as well. As you can see, I've actually turned the rice midway down. What you have to do is turn the rice midway, or just under midway, like you've got the curry mutton, when it starts to boil. So when you see the rice start to boil, when after you put it on the cooker, and you see the water bubbling above the rice, that's when you know it's time to turn it down on the hob to just under midpoint, and then you just cover the rice back over, cover the lid, put the lid back on the rice, and then obviously just leave it to finish off cooking until the water's completely drained from it, or until you can feel the top rice. So a good way to check is if the top rice is soft, or if you take a few of the rices at the top, and if they're soft, that generally is a sign that the rice is cooked. What I do to check if there's any water in the rice so my rice does not dry out, is I get like a long butter knife, poke a hole down the center, and that way I can check to see if there's any water. And as you can see, look, there still is water down there, as you can see. So there is still water left in this rice, so carry on cooking it until the water's fully evaporated from it. Okay, for the broccoli, what we're gonna do is put some black pepper, we're gonna use two teaspoons instead, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, and just a drizzle of honey. We're gonna put that in the grill literally for about 20 minutes, because these are actually frozen, so we're gonna grill them for 20 minutes, okay? On a medium to high temperature, medium to high. The rice is now done. Okay, the rice is finished now. Okay, the rice is finished. I'm gonna show you guys what the final end production looks like now. Now, what you can do is literally add a bit of more water if it dries out a little bit, and if you want it more liquidy, more gravy in it, and it dries out, you can add a bit more water. And if the thickness consistency does go, all you need to do literally is just add some cornmeal. So you just add some cornmeal, just a little bit, just sprinkle some cornmeal, give it a stir, then sprinkle some more cornmeal until you get that thick consistency of the gravy. Okay, cornmeal powder that is. Yeah, okay. So I'll show you the end product shortly, stay tuned. Okay. Yes, so that's grilled broccoli with drizzled honey, black pepper, coleslaw, curry mutton, and the rice.